Fantastic. I'm doing great. Are you, what part of the world are you in?
I am in Vail, Colorado.
Where's that?
As you can see, this is Vail, Colorado.
Great. Beautiful.
Yep. Ski town.
I was just in Denver recently, so I know it's a pretty time of the year out there.
Yes, it's beautiful. I'm actually going to be walking over to one of the spots that have a little bit of area is like. As you can imagine, we are in a high-end, wealthy ski town. Most people associate Aspen with being a ski town, Colorado. Say that it's Vail, as you can.
Nice. We're getting a little bit of chop in the video. I think my internet should be good because I just got new internet installed, an upgraded version of what I had. But you're out kind of running, so you're probably working on the internet of your phone.
Yeah, actually, no, I've got town internet. I was going to move here to the spot at the fountain, so I'll stop here in just a minute. I wanted to get moved from where I was.
Okay.
Less people.
No problem. So, and by the way, what's your name?
I'm Figerto.
How do you spell the first name?
Fee, F-I.
C-S-I?
F-I. Fee. It's a French abbreviation.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
Super. I read a little bit about what you're up to, but I just always like to hear kind of the pitch directly from you. So how about giving me the pitch as you would like to present it?
All right. Well, we have kind of a unique thing going on here in Colorado because, as you can imagine, or as you may have heard, we are a rather fast-growing state. Last statistics that I saw said that we're adding about 10,000 people a month to the state of Colorado.
Okay.
So, as you can imagine, that is really pushing our real estate market through the roof. So we kind of have a twofold plan with our business. The first part of it is just investing in this real estate. The real estate that I've looked at, we wanted to do a bed and breakfast in Minturn. I found, she sent a PowerPoint out, but I was having issues with getting it to run with this app as well. So just figured we'll wing it. But this is the property here. I don't know how
okay.
you can see it, but the PowerPoint that you should be getting will have pictures of this. It's listed at 2.695.
Right.
And
is it zoned for bed and breakfast?
It is not at this moment. The town of Minturn said that basically all we would need to operate is they have a special use permit for $750. Now, the town they said that they would need to determine on whether or not we'd actually need to be zoned commercial. There is a bed and breakfast running in Denver that is residential zoned, and they have a person living in it, so it falls into a private residence.
Okay.
Even though it's a bed and breakfast, so they don't have to be commercially zoned. However, the town of Minturn is this little town snugged in between Vail and Beaver Creek, and they are... Yeah, it's a beautiful, it's exactly what you would expect of a quintessential Colorado ski town. I love Vail, but as you can see behind me, it's very kind of faux Austrian, if you will.
Looks nice.
It is. It's very nice. Because the average listings here for real estate are at 1.1 million. Our real estate market up here, like I said, is booming. We had a 15% increase in sales and average sales over just the last year since January.
Okay.
The mortgage companies are predicting that we'll have an increase of 35% on the real estate in the next 5 years.
Great.
I wouldn't say that would be far off because, well, lack of housing options, there just isn't that much on the market anymore because there's way more people moving in than what we have available.
Yeah. So now, in terms of a bed and breakfast, I'm not familiar with the running of something like that. But can you buy? Let's assume you get the zoning taken care of. Okay.
Right.
But that is the first concern. Any investor is going to want to know and understand this. As you're pitching to me, um, it isn't necessarily just me that says, yes, I'll write the check to do this. I might have a group of investors or might, be, I have certain people that I deal with that are my go-to real estate people, for example.
Right.
So I would never do a deal generally in real estate all by myself because I like people that come from that space to kind of get involved and sign off. So now my people would say, you can't touch it without the zoning. Then you're dealing with, okay, so now that it might be zoned, does it need any construction? Do people need their own bathrooms, for example? I don't know what the laws are in a bed and breakfast, or is it shared? I mean, because I can only imagine if there's how many bedrooms are in the house?
So it is a 10-bedroom, 12 bath. It is turnkey. There really wouldn't be any construction needed. It
Okay.
has 3 different kitchens in it. And the thing that we're planning to use as our niche, so we are Colorado and we have legal cannabis. Now, our biggest problem with our legal cannabis is we are pushing edibles upon our tourists because we have a Clean Air Act that keeps everyone from being able to vaporize or smoke in their hotel room.
Okay.
So we have people coming here who go to the cannabis shops and they'll spend, and I've seen it, $800-900, and then they go back to their hotel room and they find out they can't do it there, and if they do, it's a $250 fine on up.
Right.
And then you legally can't I can't just walk around right here in open space and smoke. That's illegal.
Gotcha.
So legally, the only thing our tourists are supposed to do is consume edibles. Now, when I approached the sheriff's department, I approached them before we started this project to see what kind of safety concerns they would have. And they had a very specific safety concern. Their third concern was middle-aged Texans overdosing on edibles.
Okay.
But what happens is people don't feel the effect of it. We're at high altitude. High altitude will cut your alcohol tolerance down into half, so edibles are very tricky. People don't feel them. They sneak up on them, and if they've eaten too many, it enhances everything in your body, including like their heartbeats and stuff. And at high altitude, a lot of people are mistaking it for heart attacks,
Oh,
which
well,
it's not. They get a Xanax in a very expensive hospital bed for the night.
gotcha. Okay.
So
Well,
the thing that makes us unique, though, is we aren't the Marijuana Enforcement Division doesn't require any special licensing from us because we don't sell it. We only allow it, we would allow it on property, so it'd be 21 and up only. Now, of course, with the property being contingent on the special permit use, now this is where it got a little bit tricky. Because you don't have the property sold to us and it's not ours, and we're proposing to do this with it, and because somebody is selling it and we're proposing to do it with his property, say if we closed on it, we would go, basically they've agreed to do as little as $5,000 down for earnest money to hold the property while the permit goes through, because I can't even present the permit to the town of Minturn without his sponsorship of it, since he owns the property.
gotcha. Okay.
But of course, the contract would not go through without that permit. And I have met with the town council and the town planner, or manager and planning and zoning manager.
Yeah. Bless
Excuse
you.
me.
Yep.
There.
No problem.
This town, like I said, because of where it's tucked in between the two resorts, it's a beautiful, gorgeous little town, and it gets missed a lot by the main tourist traffic. So they could do with the revenue. Of course, they said, just be sure to come in and show us what you can bring for taxes. And they were very accommodating. They're like, we could look at it and see if we need to rezone you if need be. And politically, they can't say yes or no, but it was very positive. Same with the sheriff's department. They politically can't say yes or no, we're supporting it, but they said they would rather work with us than against us. So it's kind of, so far everything's been a positive, roundabout political support without them coming out and saying, yes, we
Gotcha.
support this.
Okay. So now, regarding the business deal, the financial transaction, what is your proposal? You're looking for somebody to help you finance this. How much money's needed down? Is there bank financing you think available for, 80 or 90%, or what kind of cash, and what's it going to take to do the deal, and what's the proposal for the investor?
So we are actually an S corp, and I have been approached by a fairly large amount of people in this community that are interested in investing. So I do want to eventually open it up to more in community investing. At this point, we think that we will be able to bring in enough money from the community to buy out cash. Our fundraising goal, because we also have a ranch property in mind with employee housing. I don't know how far you got to get into the plan. But a large part of our problem, and the reason why we threw that in there, and a lot of businesses here are having to do that, including this little German restaurant right behind me, they had to buy houses for their employees, because what's happening was when Airbnb came in, it took off 300 homes that were going to locals off the market. And now rooms are going on an average between 1,000 and 1,200 a person. So from a business owner, would need to pay you pretty significant income for you to be able to afford that and be able to afford things like food.
Right.
So the plan that we have is that we would, and basically what we want to do is we want to come in and invest. We have to have a certain amount of angel investors, but we'd like to do a certain amount of angel investors to satisfy, I think it's like 60%. Forgive me, I don't have my numbers right in front of me. And then we'd like to open it up to the community, because a lot of people want to invest into a cannabis business, but because of complications, they aren't usually, it makes it very hard to do so because of the banking system.
Yeah.
On paper, we're just a regular old bed and breakfast. The only thing that makes us cannabis at all is that we allow it.
Gotcha.
So that's
okay.
Legally.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so I mean, part of being part of Pitch Investors Live, like we are here, is for people to be watching this live and see the opportunities that exist. I mean, obviously, this is a pitch to me as an investor. I will tell you, my background as an investor has primarily been in kind of B2C kind of products. Been involved with hundreds and hundreds of investments. Now, it's funny. My brother he and I have been partners on and off for dozens of years. He happens to love real estate investments. And so now he'll come to me and say, hey, I'm going to buy a house, and it's, we can buy it for, $500,000, put 200 in it and sell it for 1.2. And so he's been doing that. Now, this is, that's flipping. Now, you're not looking to buy and flip. It sounds to me like, but the next question is there, is this buy it, get the cash flow going on it, and then maybe at some point sell it so that there's a profit and a liquidation? Or is this buy and hold? Or what's the investment strategy?
Okay, so the investment strategy is to go ahead and buy it. And then, so basically the business, like the lost joint would be the bed and breakfast in Minturn. And then we have a guest ranch plan out right by a ski hill, a couple of minutes out of town, about 20, 25, depending on weather, of course, where we can put another about 15 to 20 rooms. We have like 10 tree houses drawn up, for example, for glamping, because people are very into that whole glamping experience now. As you can imagine, it's pretty exotic to be able to stay in the tree houses. Yeah. Anyway, but essentially the plan is that the real estate is kind of like the backbone for it. It's the guarantee. And as the cash flow comes in, with Minturn being turnkey, we can see, I honestly think it'll take a month to get it going. So I'm predicting 2 months, just because that's how it usually is with anything hospitality and restaurant wise. So the plan is basically that the businesses and then the employees are buying back these properties from the investors itself. we think that honestly, this is going to be a fairly lucrative business, and people are going to want to stay in it for the equity.
Yeah.
The equity loans. I mean, the return on if they actually do hit the projected return on investment at 35%, heck, we could potentially sell it out. If guarantee, even if the business part of the bed and breakfast completely failed, we'd still probably come out on top by how much you'd be making off the real estate in this area. It's kind of a fail safe.
Right.
I put out really low numbers, but even at my lowest numbers, I was still looking at it of the entire 15 million through the businesses at 10 years. And that's very low.
Okay.
Higher numbers, we're looking to repay the in as far as like the business gross revenue. Excuse me. I work at graveyard shifts, by the way, so you know. This is the kind of my nighttime. So excuse me for a minute. I clutch myself. I'm a little tired. So anyway, yes. So we would be looking at probably 2 to 5 years and returning all 15 million back into the equity of the business. But in speaking to my lawyers and we were doing the structuring, honestly, at the kind of if each property I think will bring in between I think the in-town property will probably bring in anywhere between a million to 3 million, depending on how booked we have. I do want to let you know we are basing ourselves off an existing business that is down in Denver. They are a cannabis-friendly bed and breakfast in an old Victorian house. It's a 6-bedroom. They were reporting $110,000 a month as of last year, which comes out to 100% occupancy at 6 rooms, was $611 a night.
Super. Okay, so now the one of the very attractive things on this investment, you are providing the collateral of the real estate to the investors underlying their investment. I'm assuming, correct?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
So, and in the meantime, the way my lawyers, one of my lawyers was an SEC. He worked for the SEC, and so he understands a lot more about that side of it than I do. And I wish he was kind of here to explain that to me.
Right.
But from what I understand, it's basically if you stay in it and you don't want to buy back, we'll have all that equity building. And the plan calls for about 12.5 million invested in about 6-7 properties throughout the valley. Right. There's a couple of things I look for though. Like I will not invest in anything that has electric baseboard heating. It's just a waste. The other thing we'd like to do is set to everything because it's just another way to burn revenue for all the houses. We have 300 days of sunshine here in Colorado. I don't see why we wouldn't utilize that because then it would provide everybody. And the other reason why we're doing employee housing is 2 birds, 1 stone. I don't have to buy any because let's say for example, my 2 gals that are going to be doing the marketing and the filming and our internet, social media and that kind of thing. I can put their office right in their house. And now I don't have to have commercial office space because I'll tell you, see that second story right above me?
Yeah.
That little space probably goes for about $10,000 a month. And it's probably about 1,800 square feet.
Okay.
The restaurant, I'm trying to see if there's a restaurant you can see.
Hey, I have one other interesting question, and I got to wrap this up. Because I love the concept of, providing a cannabis-friendly place to stay, bed and breakfast. It's interesting, niche, unique proposition, because I always try to, look for that unique positioning on the opportunity, right? Now, is there, and I don't know if you mentioned this earlier, but what if me as a consumer, I would think, well, okay, maybe I don't smoke, but maybe my wife does or something, but I don't want to be in a home that's just a total smokehouse. Is there kind of these custom ventilation systems on a room by room basis that that you could say that it's so geared towards the smoker, that there's individual room ventilation systems or something.
Yeah, it has the house itself. My one of my partners, Nick, he's very handy and understands the construction part of it. He was telling me that the ventilation system in the house should work for it. Now, you should know that smoking is only limited to like the living room area and outside on the back porch. Because of insurance reasons, they can't actually light a bowl in their room, but they can vaporize.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
most of the house, and like same thing for the cars, because there's like pot tours here. Like for example, to appease the cops and the fact that it is a $2.5 million property, all the furnishings come with it. By the way, high end luxury stuff. It's really neat. I can get you more information on those, of course. Kind of like Escalade, shuttle basically, so that we have certain services available. They could vaporize in there since it's our shuttle, but they couldn't smoke in it. So that's kind of the
okay.
That does help
but I think,
with the air.
Yeah, gotcha. So you just may need to beef up the ventilation a little or something.
We figured if it
okay.
wasn't working out so great, we're going to experiment with the Dyson and air filters, and we've got a couple of different things that we can experiment. But it looks like, from what we've been exploring with the house, that it was really well built, and they think that what's in there right now should be sufficient to keep it well ventilated, so that you're not just sitting in a hot box.
Well, listen,
no one wants that.
I have your business plan that came through here. I want to thank you for your presentation and the beautiful view that you provided me today. It's a great. I live in Florida, and we don't have. I have a German Irish heritage, so I love kind of the faux of Austrian German kind of look there today. It's a lot of it. It's very nice to see. I love the Aspen and Vail marketplace. I ski there myself and have friends with places there. I was just in Denver area, so it's near and dear to me. I've got a couple of people I'm thinking of on my side that might be interested in taking a look with me, possibly. So I'm going to leave the door open, and also would say anybody out there that's watching us live, this is, we're giving you some daylight in the network of investors, network here. So Pitch Investors Live has many people out there, and we just want to say anyone else that might be interested, jump on it before somebody else does, and thank you for the opportunity today. We'll, to be continued on my side as far as my connections and interest goes. But I want to thank you for a great pitch and a great business plan. By the way, it looks for anyone else that's out there that might be interested. Your business plan is colorful, full of good information, and would like to encourage anyone else also to reach out. So thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your day, and nice meeting you via Pitch Investors Live. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye.